What's good, people? It's your boy, Icarus Gray. And this is Gray Area Anime, the most wonderful podcast of your day. You know it. Kirby says, it's dangerous to go alone, so I choose you to come along with us on this journey of anime discussion. Last episode we got deep. So hopefully it didn't run you off. I hope you stayed to the end to at least see what I was trying to go with there in the variety of our stylings, and the stylings brought to you from the crew over at Gray Area Anime. And but there was an anime that we didn't get to talk about.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen.
And that was Takt Op.
Indeed.
The one that we love. We love this one. I don't think, haven't had a bad episode, and there's not even been, not to dive right back into our last episode, but there's no extreme fan service that I can tell. I mean, there's like certain angles, like they'll like Anna, like there was for whatever, like you know, like
leaning out of the train. Yeah, that was weird.
But outside of that, it's just really into the fighting in this dystopian
the story
esque world. Yeah. So, and I think I appreciate that about it. The music is what I appreciate the most.
Music is amazing.
And that first episode, Moonlight Sonata. So, it's always going to win favor with me. So we got to talk about it. So we missed 3 episodes, I think. No, just 2.
2, yeah.
We just missed 2. Because we were on episode 4 and we're now talking up to episode 6. Same thing with the Aristocrat Assassin. We're also up to episode 6 on that, just to kind of keep y'all up to date. If I failed to mention what episode we're on, I didn't have you do your thing on the last episode. That's also missing, but whatever. We'll get it together.
Now?
No.
Okay.
That's the end of the episode thing. Especially because this is audio only, so I want to give you guys a treat of the audio only and just not having as many. Go follow, go subscribe, rate, review, all of that kind of stuff. Because if you're here for a good reason, and I enjoy you. So let's talk about Takt Op. What are we enjoying the most about this series thus far? Or what are you enjoying?
Well, I'm enjoying the music. I'm really enjoying the story and the world building. I'm very interested in finding out how the heck they came to be. I mean, like, what was up with the necklace, for one? Why those two, right? Like, why did her mom give it to her and not to Anna? Because it seemed like, now I do have some question about that too. Remember the necklace that she was wearing? That's what brought her back to life when she died. You don't remember it started glowing and stuff? I think it might have broken or something. Like it was a whole situation. We'll have to go back and look at the scene. But I do wonder why her mother gave it to her and not to Anna. And I can't remember whether or not her mother died. Like the way Anna talks, their parents are alive and they're in New York. So why did her mother give it directly to her? Or to her specifically?
Okay.
So many questions.
Well, I'll answer those questions and you get a little reorientated over there.
That's what I was trying to do earlier.
You were doing it on there. I'm going to mute you while I express thoughts.
All right.
So the thing that's like incredibly interesting about this series more than anything is the mysteries of it. Like at this current juncture, I'm wondering just how important Kenji Ashishina was, which is Takt's dad.
The rooster?
The rooster is what they call him, I guess, which is such a, I mean,
there's a year of the rooster in the
Yeah, but I don't think. Let's just move on from that.
You're
Let's
right.
Just, nope. Look, there was. Thank you for the fun fact.
I was just wondering,
Nope,
if there was like a
no.
common understanding of
I'm
what
pretty sure
roosters
it-
represent or something.
Okay. Any other thoughts that you have?
Maybe
on
he
this?
looked like a rooster. I don't know.
Okay. Any other thoughts that you have on this that you want to get out?
Okay. Aside from the rooster,
I know. I'm talking about that because that was the point I want to make. I just want you to get all of your. I'm going to start
maybe it's
leaning
because
into
of
your side content.
the neck thing they wear, the conductors. Maybe he had like one of those kerchiefs. That's you know what I'm talking about.
We're just gonna keep leaning into it.
Well,
It's
you
fine.
asked me to go back to it, so I did. I was gonna let it go.
I'm saying you. The thing that is
All
so
right.
funny about you is you presume to not have the strength to let it go.
I did.
No, because you could like when I say that's all. Instead of that, like you choose violence
I
every
wasn't
time.
choosing violence. I
You choose
promise you.
violence.
Okay, I'm done.
But anyway, what I was saying is it's probably something tied to music, and I'd be interested to kind of do a little bit of research on that to just kind of see what they mean by that. But in the episodes that we caught up on and watched, it was kind of like a starting of their adventure and the real start from the beginning of the episode or beginning of episode 1 to now episode 6. But episode 5 was kind of like Leonard is no longer with them.
Right.
And so they're kind of out there by themselves.
And I do have a question for you that I'll just remind me later so I
Go
can
ahead.
ask you.
Go ahead.
Do you think this is going to become a harem?
No.
So they just gave us like a tease of a harem.
Because the
'Cause
thing,
that
I
presents
mean,
another-
when they, what is her name? I don't even think they gave her a name.
They did give her a name. I don't. She told it was Walla.
She did get a name.
based on Wagner.
Valkyrie. It's
Yeah.
Walcure, or it's
Walk-
supposed to be called.
yeah.
It's actually Valkyrie, but and you called
Walcure.
and you called this. You also called the other music art's name.
Hell.
You called no Hell's, but you called Heaven, the other
yeah.
lady being
Yeah.
called Heaven, so you called
Yeah.
her name, which is funny. And currently, that's the only music arts that are gonna get introduced.
That's what it looks like
Which is
based on the
interesting.
info.
But anyway, question. What was your question?
So
harem.
So
Sorry,
here's the thing about it though, and I think it'll give you more to because I kind of want to hear your thoughts on that. The reason, I mean, you obviously know why I asked.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's possible for a conductor to have more than one music art?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it is. I think that again, if you're talking about the facility created music arts, because nobody else clearly has the same conditions that he does.
The in the wild, like the straight from the wild music art.
I don't think that there's because Leonard never had any sort of lack of energy or any of that. Takt has been the only one that has dealt with these issues in that. I think that her life force, and we're going to have to watch the first episode again or second episode.
But I think
get
that
the
you
answer.
bring up a really good point. It costs them nothing. It costs them nothing to use them.
Visually, it doesn't. At least it seems. Or actually, it hasn't seemed to.
It hasn't seemed to cost it cost them nothing of their body, their blood, their sweat. It costs them nothing to use these man-made tools that they've created as music arts, which I think is a really interesting point that you make.
But even to back end on my own point, they also don't look surprised.
And that makes me wonder.
So there's not, that's also not a thing then. It counters each other out. And maybe when we go back and check
Lenny
it out.
did look surprised. When he saw that the blood start to get on old boy's face, he was like, oh.
Well, I think because, but I feel like that was more because of the use at that point, at least in how he responded to them later by like teaching them that they have to be one and work
Right.
together. If it had been more of this is a thing that only you deal with kind of thing, maybe he would have talked to him more about why he deals with it.
Do you think he would even know? Because he seems to be a little bit of an anomaly.
I mean, I think so too, just because I think that he knows Takt's dad.
That's
true. He mentioned that
That's
before
true.
he left. So I think that would have been something, especially because I believe that his dad obviously worked with the Symphonica, or at least was huge in the music world. I think that the big twist is going to be, they wanted to use like his music for world domination or something like that.
Because the reason I ask about the cost, and it's interesting you mentioned world domination.
I'll get back to answering the harem thing.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I
kind of feel like you did, just because we talked about conductors having more than one music arc, which kind of is like a harem situation. But to the world domination point, because we'll have to, like you said, go back and rewatch the first episode. But these music
to
first
get
and
what
second,
we need, we gotta watch the second.
But these music arc beings appeared from the sky. There's no indication, at least now, that they appeared from Symphonica. It seems like they appeared from some other world, and then Symphonica figured out how to recreate them on their own. And so that, to me, that would change the dynamic of the conductor in the music art. Like if you're dealing with a man-made version of an alien being, the cost would be different.
Well, I also think that in that regard, then that would say a couple things. So to answer your question, and guess you've given yourself the answer to your own question about the necklace and its importance. So if that necklace was a piece of asteroid or something like that of the original, then they could have reacted in that way.
That's
because
a good
it's
point.
something that was originally there from that aspect of it. But you can also look at it like, that's kind of the only way you can look at it is, the music arts, or at least how I remember watching it. And we're going to rewatch after getting this room set up. You guys won't hear echoes. But y'all really don't hear. It's just stuff that we hear while we're recording that drives us nuts because we strive for perfection. But you end up in this place where if you're looking at the story of how everything came, I feel like it was all asteroids and stuff. And then the D2 started attacking music.
Yeah, from the earth. I think they like embedded into the earth
Or
and like
something.
rose up from the
We'll
earth.
watch,
It was
and we'll
crazy.
come back way more informed. I don't want to like read the wiki on it because I just think that it's not as
Cheating.
not that it's cheating, but that it's not as not as interesting in that regard. But yeah, the harem thing that I don't think they'll do is because then that would say that Takt has bigger capacity to have other connections with people, and that he is going to be damaged for a while, or not really, because Cosette Destiny has started to act more like Cosette.
Which I love. I hope that they keep doing that.
In small little, robotic ways in terms of like, knowing him. There's an obvious connection of how she watches him, whether it's Cosette's soul, spirit, whatever
Remaining
music, art, note. I don't know. That still remains in her, could be speaking. Could be jumping out in terms of the things that they were doing. Her love of sweets is clearly a Cosette thing.
You think so? I think that is 100% Destiny. But
No, it's a
it.
Cosette thing because if you remember when she's talking to Maria's mom, and Maria in the episode 6 is a girl who passed when she was leaving her mom's home in New Orleans. And I think that, what? Did I pronounce it wrong?
No, I wasn't gonna say anything about that. I just
Did I say it wrong?
keep going.
Did I say it wrong?
No.
Did I get it right?
Yes.
Does it make you mad that I get it right?
You pronounced the 2 words. Yes, you did.
You rather me say Nolans?
No. What? Stop.
Nolans?
Stop it.
Nolans.
Stop
Nolans?
yourself. Where is
I know
the
how to say
button?
it. Don't.
Where is it? That's
Is that all you wanted?
Stop yourself.
But so when they were there, she was having a conversation with her as they were eating the lemon cake. And she says, these are really sweet and good, but they're not as good as the tarts that Big Sister Anna makes.
Yes.
And so that to me is a Cosette thing.
Interesting.
Because
Yeah, I can
the
see that.
story
I can see
that she was telling him, if you recall, in episode like 3. Yeah, I think it was episode 3. Probably episode.
When she was talking to Lenny?
No, I think she was talking to Takt. She might have been talking to Lenny. It doesn't matter who she was talking to.
No,
but basically she was talking about how when they first got to that neighborhood, that Cosette wouldn't eat anything. She hadn't eaten in a while, but she would eat her tart.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying it's a Cosette thing. I don't think it's a Destiny thing.
I see
but
what you're
again,
saying.
we'll just kind of have to like figure those things out as they construct more of this world. I am ready for what's up.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm ready for the bigger fights, only because I know that there's gonna be more music.
Speculate a little bit on the Symphonica, if you will. Like, what's going on with Hell on Wheels and her music? Her conductor and the heaven aspect too. Like, what's going on with that?
Well, what I think about all of this is that it's gonna be one of those things where they found a way to like harness D2 energy or something like that.
That would be dope.
Because what they were transporting was this purple
crystal or something, right?
thing.
Crystallized thing.
Which, if you look at it, is the same color as the cores of the D2s.
Very perceptive.
So I watch a lot of anime.
I see.
I don't call myself sensei for nothing. I might not be like as able to readily, shoot off people's names all the time, but I'm getting better as I remembered Takt and Anna and Cosette and all those names. So I'm working on it, you guys. But so that would say that to me, is there's a military misuse of power.
Oh, most certainly.
And it's a military use of like thinking that they can control the uncontrollable. And that's my general thought of where they're going with that. That's the Symphonica's thing. That's why it might not have been what they originally wanted to do, which is why Leonard is off doing what he's doing.
That's what I'm thinking too. I think Leonard's on a path of like undoing their BS. Like he's
or why
finding out
chooses not to work in the office, because the only people that apparently, or at least that we've seen thus far, we've seen Titan, we've seen Hell, we've seen Valkyrie, and we've technically seen Heaven, but we don't know that that's her name yet.
And that dream, though.
What dream?
That dream that Takt has of the huge D2, no. And then Heaven and Hell are suddenly there. Did you notice that?
Yeah, but I also think that may have been the night that whatever power that they were trying to use when they were trying to use his dad, they came to save him or whatever, but he also was trying to get him out of that, because the whole purveying thought at the end of episode 6 was, or episode 5 was, he's still alive. When
when Heaven's conductor was talking when
Sagan, he's the chief executive officer of the.
Is that his name, Sagan?
Yeah, because Felix Schindler.
Oh yeah, I know Schindler.
Is the one that has he's the right hand man to Sagan or Sagan. And immediately upon seeing him, nothing about them has made me feel comfortable. They're doing that other anime trope where they use that Nazi-esque dress, where they might not be doing, Nazi type things, but
it's
overall,
feeling real
it's feeling a little like they have this pure music thought. But there's something with music and the purity.
I know, just the thought of like music snobs. No offense to music snobs out there. I know everybody is a snob in some regard for their specific music of choice, but just that level of like, I guess disdain or like, you know, like just looking down upon other people who listen to, you know, pop and not classical music. Like, you know, like that, something about that just makes my skin crawl.
But I think that's probably something that has to do with, and I'm probably going to rewatching the series tomorrow, like a couple times.
Do it again.
No, we watching 2 episodes tonight because I'm rewatching those 2 that we talked about, so we can kind of go back and see. And I think I want to take to doing that again, because because of how much anime I've watched, I am I watch through it and then like, cause I'm just trying to see where the story goes. That it's not until I go back that I'm able to be like, ooh, I saw that. Ooh, I saw it. Ooh,
you catch more details on
like
the second
One Piece,
go-round.
man. Every time I rewatch One Piece, and I do not care whether you like it or not, I'm not one of those people that's gonna tell you to watch it. I watch it, and that's enough for me. Every time I go back and watch One Piece, there's something in an episode that I catch that I didn't initially catch that Oda was, that either the anime knew that Oda was building towards or whatever. Because that's how well he weaves stories to me. Whether you like the characters, whether you like story development or not, that's something that I think he does well. So I'm going to try and take that on a little bit more, especially with this anime, which I don't think will be terrible. And the last thing that I think I want to talk about before we wrap it on up for the night, because it's nighttime over here, is I want to talk a little bit about Blue Period. And everything has, or at least in this episode, has been artistically driven. And I love those animes. I love animes that are driven by the creative aspect of things. It fuels my own creative energies. Blue Period is amazing. Has 5 episodes on Netflix. Releases once a week, I think, on Saturdays. So we'll get an episode this Saturday, so I'll be able to watch episode 6. Yes. I'm also going to start reading the manga because, as you guys know, I ain't waiting for nothing. Like, nah, you're not going to make me wait. Plus, it's ongoing. So
Yay.
That was another, and I think they started 2017. There are like 11 volumes, and there's only 48 chapters, which is almost a year's worth. And I don't know if they go by, if they're like monthly, because if they've been going since 2017, if they were going weekly, they should have way more chapters than that. But anyway, it's about this kid who is very, he comes off as a delinquent or acts like a delinquent, but is very hardworking and just kind of wants to live the standard life. He ends up finding or sees this painting done by one of his upperclassmen and falls in love with art and goes down this artistic journey. I do think it's also very kind to the transgender community because there's a character in there, and I always find it somewhat difficult to do the pronoun stuff only because like I just have to shift whatever. But here they don't like dwell on anything. And he addresses her as she. And I was like, I was very appreciative of that just because it is easy. It might be like uncomfortable in a certain way because mentally there's other stuff added on to it. But again, it's not that big of a deal. But I think that it's something that this anime, in the middle of art, in the middle of interpretations of art, in the middle of interpretations of the creative medium in and of itself, is doing a really amazing job of showing that when you start something, you start with a like of it. You start maybe with the mechanics, or maybe you're a savant and you start naturally just with certain capabilities of technique. But when you get the passion, when you put that together and then you create your own pathway, is the path that all creatives chase after. It's the reason why, you know, you see fashion designers and all these other people striving with everything in them to be so unique with their hairstyles and tattoos and gauges and whatever it is that they're using to express their unique style of fashion or creativity. It's because of when you bring those things together, what are you left with? what is the theme that you're going to leave? What is the Picasso, the Rembrandt, the Michelangelo, the Donatello, the creation that you're gonna make? And that's what that anime invokes for me. And I love that. I love those types of animes because it's saying, find your passion. It's saying this is what's difficult about it. It zeroes in on the immaturity of it. The immaturity of, when you started acting, you may have read a scene. You may have like practiced it or whatever, done blocking for it and done all these different things. You get on stage, you perform it, but it's different because the energy is now different. And if you start to focus on that energy or focus on the energy of the people that are outside, then it can hinder you. But also, there was a point where I'm sure you went from, I've practiced all of this, everything should go the same. And then realizing every show is different.
Well, yeah. I mean, they teach you that initially, or, as you're trained, that you should create that illusion of the first time. And I think the best performances, especially if you're talking about live theater, where you have to, it's hard. I feel like it may be more difficult in film. But because film, you want to do it the exact same way to a degree to make sure that you're still in your same spot. But in theater, it's not this. You want to create a new experience for every audience every night. Well, it still has to be,
it's
true
still that
in that
connection
moment.
Because even in that, even when you're switching it to like the film, right? You still have to hold energy.
Yeah, and you
have
it's
to
harder
hold
there.
the energy of the creation or the created person that you're creating.
Yeah.
So there's a different aspect of where you have to hold the energy,
or where you even get the energy from.
Right. But that's something that this anime does so very well. I think it's something that you guys should definitely check out. Go and watch Blue Period on Netflix. It is a Netflix exclusive. And very soon, guys, we're going to work out Funimation because we did not know that there's a whole season 2 of Love is War, and I'm upset. Because, we would have been watching that and we would have been watching a couple other things. I really got to get all this stuff. And I got to set aside time to get High Dive so I can watch more Made in Abyss or watch the Made in Abyss movies because there's 2 of them.
What? Do they finish the darn thing? Because I need to know what happened.
They don't finish. It's still continuing. But
Made in Abyss is still going on?
Yeah, the manga is still going on.
What?
Yes, there's not an end. There's they literally, the last episode of Made in Abyss, spoiler alert, is them going down another level, and they're immediately the next chapter in the manga when I read is them now being in the realm of the guy who made the girl that
that sent her back up. They
Yeah.
sent her. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
So
hoping he's going to
they
get
are
what he
right there.
deserves.
So we'll see where they go from there. But we'll get all this stuff together because there's a lot of other things that we're gonna read and do because I'm diving into this for real. We've changed the timing and everything else. I'm gonna work with old Prima Diva over here on her schedule because she just be busy, y'all. She got a lot of stuff to do. I do live stream. So if you want to go and see me live stream and talk about anime or see me work on my album, Gray Matter, you can do that at twitch.tv/Icarus_Gray and do your thing.
If you would like to get in touch with us, give us your suggestions, or just have a good old conversation about anime, you can get at us on Twitter at Gray Area Anime. You can also get at us on Facebook at Gray Area Anime and on Instagram at Gray Area Anime 1. You can email us your suggestions, comments, or anything that you would like us to check out at grayareaanime@gmail.com.
We appreciate you guys. Kirby says,
Hi.
it's dangerous to go alone. So I choose you guys. Until next time, peace.